Hello, hello, hello. Okay, just give me a minute. I need to click on this. And then I'll be live. Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know because just like usual, I don't hear anyone. Can you hear me? Can you see the screen and everything? I'm sorry I'm be a little bit late today because of some technical issues that I've got here. But if you can hear me, just let me know, okay? It's all right. I can see here. Right, just give me a minute. How am I so bad at this? Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Somebody confirmed that they can hear me. So I'm so sorry for being late today because I got some technical issues. I couldn't just figure it out. So I had to go back to the previous software that I was using. So thank you so much for joining me today. And in today's, I don't know what I did here. I actually prepared the entire slide and I don't know why. It just doesn't show it here. So I'm just gonna go right here. All right, so for now, probably you can see it's a little bit weird here. All right. So sorry about this because it's just me and alone. Right, so in today's session, we will be talking about IELTS Writing Task 2. And in this session, I will be sharing with you some of the mistakes that I often see people make. And the thing is, I really didn't know how to put this into a structure session so that you understand the session a little bit better. So I would do a little bit of an experiment today. I took some writings from some people who submitted the writings to me, and I will be giving you the option to look at the writings and tell me the mistakes that you make, that the person made, and hopefully that we can learn from that and you never make it. So I'm going to share with you the agenda that I have today. Okay, so here it is. In this session, we will be, first of all, I will give you some parts of some writings that I collected on my website, practice9.co. And after that, I will be discussing with you the mistakes that people who wrote these writings made. And I will be giving you some corrections on the mistakes that they made. And hopefully that you will never make these mistakes. And if you are making these mistakes, I hope that you will never make them again. All right, so if you have any questions during the session, feel free to stop me. For some reason, I can't seem to see anything here. So if I somehow missed your question, feel free to DM me, okay? I'm just one person doing everything all at once. If you have watched any of the lives before, you know that I am very low tech and sometimes I make a lot of mistakes, like this one now. It doesn't show. Okay, here it is. It looks good, right? So how are you guys doing? And sorry for just keep speaking the entire time from the beginning until now without asking you guys how you are doing. I hope you have a good day today. I had actually a very good day today. I went out to do some work and I just came back from outside. It is very, very, very hot where I am now. So I am now currently living in Qatar in the Middle East, and during the summer it is very hot. Today I think it's about 43 or 44 degrees Celsius and it's really hot. But luckily it's not humid today, so I didn't feel really tired going coming back home from outside. How are you guys doing? Feel free to tell me whatever you have in mind. And again, I would like to encourage you to make yourself comfortable during the sessions. Don't worry about any mistakes that you may make. This is a safe place for you. Anyone can learn from these sessions, and these sessions are free on Instagram and on YouTube. At the moment, I have not found a way to be to do the lives on TikTok yet, so I'm just sticking to Instagram and YouTube. And I hope that you guys will join me in the exercises, because I know that you are here to learn, and some of you may be a little bit too timid to join the exercises. But don't worry about anything. Anyone who makes any inappropriate comments will be removed immediately and will be banned from my channel. This is a very safe place for you to learn. If you have any specific questions about the IELTS exam, feel free to ask me. I would encourage you to ask specific questions, because with those questions, I will be able to give you the answers. If you just ask me like tips on writing task 2 or tips to get 8 in IELTS, I wouldn't be able to give you any advice, because it would be too broad for me to answer you. So if you want me to answer your questions, feel free to ask me, and please make your questions specific. All right, and I will be more than happy to answer all the questions for you guys. And yeah, I have somebody from Qatar as well. Okay, yes, the weather in Qatar in the summer is unbelievable, and I think that anyone who lives here can agree that some days it's very humid and it's just unbearable. But luckily we have the technology of the AC here. I love it. Anyway, so let's start our session today. I hope you guys have fun, and feel free to join all the exercises. Okay, if I speak by myself, I'd be very shy, so don't make me shy. Okay, don't let me speak by myself. I'm going to share with you the first writing that I took from someone who submitted their writing on my website. And for your information, you can do free practice tests on my website, practice9.co. Practice number 9.co. Okay, you can get all the practice tests for free, and I have a lot of free materials and free resources on the website. Just go there. On this corner, you will see a section called free resources, and you will find everything for free over there. But for now, I'm going to show you some writings, and we will be discussing the mistakes in these writings. And hopefully you guys will not be making these mistakes ever again. All right, so we will start now. Okay, I'm just give me a second. I'm just adjusting myself a little bit here, so that on Instagram is also easier for you guys to see. Okay, just give me a second. I don't know how to do this. It just doesn't look like it's working. Making it bigger so everybody can read. I hope it's readable now. Okay, so I think it's readable now. So on the screen you will see there is the task prompt. The most important aim of science should be to improve people's lives. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Today we're not going to write. Today we're going to read somebody's writings, and we're going to decide whether there are mistakes or not, okay? And I would be asking you guys to read the part over here and tell me the mistakes that you can see. This is the introduction that somebody wrote for this particular task. And I want you to look at the spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, and structure mistakes. All right, let's start with spelling mistakes. Can you point out some spelling mistakes for me in this writing? And hello, Ali on YouTube. Hi, how are you doing? Okay, can you just read the introduction over here very quickly and tell me, I am looking for spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, and structure mistakes. Okay, we start with spelling mistakes. Do you see any spelling mistakes here? Feel free to write your answer on the chat box and I will let you know. At least I can see, okay, on 1, 2, 3, 4. At the moment I can see 4 mistakes, spelling mistakes right here. Okay, here we have Abdulaziz talk about peoples. It is a mistake, and how to fix the mistakes, we will be talking about it later. Okay, so just tell me the mistakes that you can see over here. We start with spelling mistakes. Okay, just do a little bit here. Oh, spelling mistakes. Can anybody tell me any spelling mistakes that you can see over here? All right, I'm just waiting. Maybe you guys are typing. Keep in mind that the IELTS writing exam, your IELTS writings are assessed by 4 criteria. And one of the criteria is a lexical resource, which basically means the vocabulary that you present in your writings. And if you make spelling mistakes, of course, you will get some reductions in your score. So you need to be very, very careful with the spelling. Whether it is a genuine spelling mistake or it is a typo. Okay, it's just because you type too fast and you cannot figure it out that you have typed a wrong word, it is still counted as a mistake. Okay, we have here another answer, science. Very good. I can see science here, right? Great. Great. Any other mistakes that you can see? Now, the idea of this is to ask you, to request you to look at other people's writings and to find out the mistakes that people made. So you will not make the mistakes in your writing. The thing about spelling mistakes is that if you don't know the correct spelling, sometimes you cannot find the mistakes. So if you cannot find the mistakes here, it's probably because you are spelling it wrong. And it's also very good for you to have some ability to proofread a writing. It is very good for your writing score. I mean, when you are in the actual exam, you have to spend some time to proofread your writings, right? So that's why it is very important for you to be able to see if there are any spelling mistakes. This is the easiest. It doesn't require any knowledge whatsoever about grammar or structures. It's just your knowledge about spellings. Okay, so since you guys are a little bit quiet now, I'm going to share with you the mistakes that I found. Okay, so I prepared this. First of all, you can see this is the word. Here is believe. Okay, this word believe. Now this is very, very popular. I don't know why. A lot of people make this spelling mistake. Okay, it's not believe like this. It has to be here. Okay, it has to be like this, believe. Right, don't forget the E after the I. Okay, that's the first. And of course, we have here science. I sincerely believe that this is a typo. I did not contact the person here to confirm, but I sincerely believe that this is a typo. But I want to remind you that be it a typo or a genuine mistake, it's a reduction in your score. So you cannot make even a typo. Make sure you understand that and you always proofread before you submit your writing. Okay? And we have here purpose, and I think it's they mean they want to say purpose, right? And of course, this is a misspelled word. It's P-U-R, not P-O-R. I remember myself struggling with English spelling a lot when I started learning English, because the way you pronounce a word is different from the way that you write it sometimes. So you sometimes make spelling mistakes if you learn the word through listening. It is very important for you to be able to spell a word correctly. Okay? And the last one I can find here is upgrading, and I again believe that this is a typo. But I want to again remind you that be it a typo or be it a genuine mistake, it is of course wrong. Okay, and it is a reduction in your score. Make sure that you do not make spelling mistakes. It is very, very sad to be losing some points over some spelling. Okay, so be very, very careful with that. Okay, any other spelling mistakes that you can find that I didn't see? Do you find any other spelling mistakes that I didn't see? If not, please move on to grammar mistake. Okay, if not, please move on to grammar mistakes. Yeah, so what about the word humans? Yeah, it's more of a grammar mistake than a spelling mistake. Okay, but you found a good answer. You found a mistake here, Abdulaziz. You found a mistake here. And with this grammar mistake, the section about grammar mistakes, I would like you to give me the mistakes, and I would like you to correct the mistakes as well. Okay, do not make the mistakes again. And I believe that if you can correct these mistakes, you may remember them a little bit longer, and then eventually you will be able to avoid the mistakes in the future. So what about this? Tell me a grammar mistake, 2 grammar mistakes, 10 grammar mistakes that you can find over here. Do you see any mistakes? I'm just going to wait for you to give me some answers here. I'm not going to give you answers right away. Okay? And again, I would like to remind you that grammar is part of the assessing criteria. Is grammatical range and accuracy. Okay? The first one, evaluate. All right, that's a mistake. And how are you going to fix or correct this mistake, Abdulaziz? How are you going to do that? And humans, okay. I would like you guys to give me the mistakes that you can find and correct the mistakes if it's possible. Because if, according to you, it's a mistake, there must be the correct version of the mistake, right? So you think it's a mistake, Okay, very good. We have somebody saying that it should be evaluating. It is correct. Very good. So the word evaluate is a verb. Okay, is a verb, and a verb cannot be the subject of the sentence, but the ing form of the verb is normally a noun. So you can use it as the subject of the sentence. So instead of evaluate people's lives, we have evaluating people's lives. Very good. Okay, we have the very first. People's should be people's. Very good. Okay, very good, very good. So we have people's should be with the apostrophe. Okay, very good. Apostrophe, people's. Okay, people's with the apostrophe. It shouldn't be with, how am I gonna do it? I'm gonna write it here. How am I gonna do this? I can't do it here, so I'm gonna write it on the screen here, okay? People. All right, I just put it here. Very good. All right. Anything else that you guys can see? It seems like you are more interested in grammar mistakes than spelling. I mean, I understand that. Have to be should be has to be. Okay, any reason why that have to be should be has to be? Can you explain to everyone why it has to be has to be? This is a very, very typical mistake, a grammar mistake in IELTS writing. It's not only in IELTS writing, it's in IELTS speaking as well. I've been doing IELTS training for almost 10 years now, and I have seen these mistakes over and over again, and I have corrected so many times I can't even count. Okay, this mistake. In this first sentence over here, you can follow my mouse, okay? Over here is for a better lives for better, have to be, right? Have to be. This one must be, has to be, not have to be. Why? My question for you guys is why? Why is it not correct here? Why should it be has to be? Okay, here we have an answer from Abdulaziz, and I think Abdulaziz will be having an answer for us. And I don't know, it looks incorrect to me. Okay, it makes sense, you know. So I want to share with you some my experience as well. So when I was in school, secondary, in high school, I was chosen to join a group of gifted students for different subjects, and we did a lot of different exams and Olympics exams and all, right? And mine, of course, was English. So the thing is, in those exams, we only did grammar exercises. We only answer grammar quizzes. And the majority of the quizzes were multiple choices. So the thing is, when you see what happened to me was, after so many times doing the same exercise over and over again, I realized that sometimes I read a sentence out loud and I felt like it was incorrect. And it has to be, just like Abdulaziz said, it has to be. I don't know why it must be has to be, but it has to be. Okay, so I would be I would like to explain to you if you want to hear. So the reason in this sentence you must use has to be is because the subject of this sentence is this word, evaluating. Okay, of course, this is the mistake we already established, right? So this one has to be evaluating, right? And because of this, this one, evaluating, is a singular noun. That is why this verb cannot be have to be. It has to be, okay? So that is why, that is the reason for has to be. But it's okay, it's very good. It means that Abdulaziz learned English through mostly from listening and mostly from maybe speaking. So you know the correct way to say it. You don't know why it is correct, but you know that it is correct. So which is also good. Because unless you want to become an English teacher or an IELTS trainer like myself, you don't have to know why it is the way it is. Okay? You just need to know the correct way to do it. You don't have to know why it is the way it is, unless you want to become an English teacher or an IELTS trainer like myself. But yeah, great. Now we have another answer here. We have has to be prioritized. Very good. Okay, has to be prioritized. Correct, because the word again, prioritize, is a verb. The most prioritized doesn't exist. Okay, very good. There are many mistakes, many grammar mistakes in this part, and I highlighted a few mistakes over here, and I would like us to focus on these mistakes, and I don't want you guys to make these mistakes ever in the future, or if you are making these mistakes, I want you guys to fix right now and stop making them in the future. Okay, stop making them in the future. So I want you to focus on so I want you to have some takeaways from this session. And the first takeaway from this session is the word evaluate. The first word here, the word evaluate, okay? If you want to use a verb as the subject of a sentence, it has to be with the ing form. For example, in this case, it has to be evaluating. Okay, it cannot be evaluate. A verb cannot be the subject. I mean, in formal writing, a verb cannot be a subject of a sentence. So it has to be evaluating. If you want to use a verb as a subject of a sentence, make it the ing form. So that is the very first takeaway that I want you to remember here. That is a basic mistake. And this mistake has been repeated over and over again by a lot of people. Okay, and I have done so many writing evaluations in my 10 years of teaching and of training, and I have corrected this mistake so many times. And the second one is the word has to be, the phrase here has to be. Okay, I already explained it because the subject is evaluating. That's why it has to be, cannot be, have to be. Okay, you're right, that's how I learn English. Yes, okay. So for a lot of us, we learn English through writing and through doing exercises like myself. So I am quite confident with my grammar. I can even explain the reasons behind different kinds of grammar. For some people, they learn English through listening and speaking, like Abdulaziz here. That is why sometimes something may sound incorrect to you. You don't know why it is incorrect, but it sounds incorrect to you. So listen to your gut, okay? When you write something and when you say something and you feel like it's not correct, it is not correct because it is not the way that you usually say it. So for me, for example, but it is also like a double-sided issue here, because For example, I have noticed that a lot of Indians, from people from the Indian subcontinent, for example, from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, from Nepal, people often say, I cannot able to do something. For example, I cannot able to meet you today. And for them, that is how they speak. That is how they say it every day, and it has become something correct to them. But grammatically speaking, it is not correct. So if you say, I cannot meet you today, or I am not able to meet you today, for them it may sound a little bit incorrect, but actually it is correct. So make sure whatever you learn from right now is correct, so that when you memorize it, you use it in the future, you will not make mistakes, right? And with the mistakes that you are making right now, try to find them and try to fix them, and try your best to not make them ever again. That's the strategy. All right, so this essay should be this essay. Okay, this is wonderful from Abdulaziz again. So one of the parts that are often neglected in IELTS writing is punctuation. Okay, is capitalization of words. So over here you see, if you notice, the word evaluate is the very first word, and is not, the first letter is not capitalized. If you write like this, you will lose a mark. So make sure that you capitalize words correctly. Okay, so the word evaluate here, not only should it be evaluating, but it should also be the E, the very first letter, should be capitalized. Okay, if you write like this, you will lose marks. And thank you, Abdulaziz, for pointing it out here. The word essay, for some reason, suddenly the E, letter E, is capitalized. I genuinely think that this is a typo. But again, if you make this typo, it is counted as a mistake, and you will lose a mark over here. Make sure you proofread your writing properly before submitting it, okay? Always spend maybe 5 minutes to proofread your writings before submitting it. Okay, very good. And because of this, I would also like to point out the final word of this paragraph is the word environment, right? And at the end of the sentence, we should have a full stop, but we don't have it here. We don't have the full stop here. We don't have the full stop. So in British English, it's called the full stop. In American English, it's called the period. So either the full stop or the period. Myself, I call it the full stop. Okay, so if you do not have a full stop here, also losing some marks. I would like to call out, I could call out some Arabic speakers, any Arabic speakers here, people whose studies and whose schooling is in Arabic, who use Arabic in their schooling. Anybody? Any Arabic speakers? Any Arabic medium schoolers? Anyone? I'm waiting now. I have something really very nice to share with you guys. Any Arabic speakers? For some reason, I don't really attract a lot of Arabic speakers. Yeah, but my best friend is Palestinian. One of my best friends is Palestinian, and I also noticed this from my friend and also from Arabic speakers who have taken IELTS writing evaluations with me. Okay, so I noticed one thing. Is it true that when you write in Arabic, you do not use full stop and commas? Can you confirm it to me that when you write in Arabic, you don't use full stop? Like the sentence just goes so long, and then the full stop only happens at the end of a paragraph. Is it true? Yes, somebody said yes. Okay, right. You know, I have had so many Arabic speakers as clients, and I've seen this a lot of times. Like, you guys just write, even in English, write everything and only one full stop at the end of the paragraph. And that is not English. It is Arabic, I guess, I assume, but it is not English. So when you write in a language, you need to follow the standards of that language. If I write in Arabic, for example, I will need to follow your writing style, your writing standards. But if I write in English and I don't use full stops and commas, it's not correct. No, we use it at academic writing. Okay. So probably many of my clients, they just wrote it the way they were used to. So again, I would like to remind you that commas and full stops are two parts of punctuation, and that is also grammar. If you make mistakes with those aspects, you will lose points as well in your writing. So make sure that you have correct commas and full stops in your writing. All right. I noticed this also in my friend who is Palestinian. She writes everything, the long sentence, and I have a tendency to read, and then I hold my breath when I read. So when I have very long messages from my friends, I always have to take a deep breath before reading it, because she never uses full stops and commas. I mean, not never, but tendency to not use, right? Okay, so that's what. Any other mistakes that you guys can see here? Any other mistakes that you guys can see here? I mean, I can see quite a few people in the live, but why are you guys not interacting with me? It's a safe place. It's like me talking to you guys only. All right. So again, I would like to remind you that in today's session, we are talking about the mistakes that we can find in other people's writing. And by correcting these mistakes, we will try our best to not make these mistakes, because only people who are aware can find the mistakes, and only people who know can avoid the mistakes. Okay. And of course, there are multiple mistakes in this part of writing, but I want you to have a few key takeaways from this. The first one is the use of a verb as a noun to become the subject of the sentence. In this case, we have the word evaluate. If you want to use it as the subject, it has to be evaluated. And make sure that you look at the subject properly to change the verb properly. So then you have has to, not have to. Okay, so we have punctuation, and then we have capitalization of words, and we have here should be always, should always be. Where is it? Yeah, very good. So always, usually, often they are adverb of frequency, so they should stand before the be. So it should always be, not should be always. Okay, here. Okay, it's very complicated to remember. And again, if you are not an English teacher, if you do not intend to become an English teacher, there's no need for you to remember why. Just memorize it. It should always be, should usually be, should often be. Okay, just memorize that. There are just a few adverbs of frequency here. Anything else that you guys can see before I move on to like telling you what I want you to take away from this session? I'm just gonna show you. Here are the takeaways that I want you guys to have in terms of grammar. Okay, the first one is the word human. So here Abdulaziz also pointed it out. right from the beginning of the session. So it shouldn't be humans live like this. It should be humans lives, you know, like multiple lives, because each human has a life. So it has to be humans life. Okay. And the next one is will also followed. All right. This is passive voice. If you want to check out the name of the grammar, over here it's called passive voice. I will write it down here, passive voice. Okay. The name of the grammar is the passive voice, and you need a be here. It is will also be. Okay. Oh, or that's what. But in this case, I would basically change it into upgrading the quality of humans' life. Will be followed by. This is my mistake. Okay, I will fix it right now so that you guys will see. Right, will be follow. Yeah, you also be followed. This is passive voice, is also be followed. Okay, evaluating, we talked about that, evaluating. And now here is there is a connection between vocabulary and grammar, and in this case we have the use of preposition with the verb. So the word, yes, the word believe here is of course misspelled, right? But the use of the word believe in this sentence is incorrect. It has to be something different. So the word believe with, and in this case I change it into agrees with. And of course you need to change, you need to have the correct conjugation here. It has to be this essay agrees with the S with the statement, not agree without the S with the statement. All right, and this is subject verb agreement. And if you make mistakes with subject verb agreement, it is very, very likely that you will lose a lot of points here. All right, and if you want to learn more about this, and if you want to have a book about this, I am not an advocate for, I will not be sharing free books, but I'm sure you can find these books free online. Okay, I'm sounding like a hypocrite right now. So the book that I will be recommending you for learning grammar is, for basic grammar, is Cambridge Grammar in Use. It is a very, very good book, and I actually learned everything, not everything, but most of my grammar and how I explain grammar to my clients through that book. Okay, Cambridge Grammar in Use. Very, very, from basic to all the sessions are leveled from basic to advanced. So if you are struggling with any type of grammar, go to that book, Cambridge Grammar in Use. Okay, and if you are interested in learning a little bit more about grammar for IELTS, there's also a book, Grammar for IELTS, Cambridge Grammar for IELTS. That is also a very good book that you should learn, that you should take. And I'm sure you can find these books online for free, but I don't have those books. Don't ask me to share, but I don't have those books to share. But I have the actual books only, but I'm sure you can find these books online. Okay, and of course the last one is environment with the full stop. Make sure that you don't make these mistakes, in because I think this is the mistake that you can always avoid if you read your writing carefully before submitting it. Okay, so I am a big advocate for proofreading whatever you are writing or whatever you have written before submitting it. Make sure that you do that, right? I have one more exercise for you, and I will be showing you a writing. Here, I would like you to look at the structure of this writing and tell me the problem with this structure. Okay? Okay, here it is. It's a little bit long. So now I'm not looking for spelling or grammar mistakes. I am looking for structure mistakes. Okay? I'm looking for structure mistakes. And there is a big mistake over here that I would like you to never make, because if you make this mistake, you will not get more than 5 for task response. Okay? Not even 5, I think, not even 5. Right? Now, I would like you to just look at the structure. Don't read in detail, okay? Because I do not need details here. I just want you to look at this writing very quickly and tell me the structure mistakes. Okay, the paragraph should be consistent. Okay. First of all, how many paragraphs do you see here? How many paragraphs do you see? This is the entire writing. This is an entire essay. It's not parts of the essay. It's just one essay, full essay. How many paragraphs can you see here? How many paragraphs can you see here? I think you guys are counting. There's just one paragraph. The entire essay is one paragraph. Do you see? Okay. The entire essay is just one paragraph. Do excuse me, my laptop is almost out of battery. I'm just gonna plug it in. Just gonna plug this one in to charge. It is charging. Yes, very good. Right? So, hello, hi everyone. Hello, somebody came late today. We like at the end of the session already, but we are still doing a little bit of exercise before we finish. Okay. So it's just one long paragraph containing so many details, right? I feel like this is a room where everyone comes to talk, right? It feels so crowded. There is no structure and there is no organizations of ideas, let alone the structure of an introduction, let alone the structure of a body paragraph. And I do not think there is even a conclusion, right? So if you can take away one thing and one thing only today about the structure of the IELTS Writing Task 2 essay, you must remember that every single essay must have 3 different parts, separated in different paragraphs. We need to have first the introduction, second body paragraphs, maybe 2, maybe 3, and then you have 1 paragraph for a conclusion. Okay, if you fail to do this, there is no way you get better than 5 for task response. Okay, and make it the very first thing that you learn. And I believe this is very, very basic, you know. It is very basic. Whenever I teach or whenever I share anything with my clients, the very first thing I tell them to have 3 different parts in an IELTS essay. introduction, body, and then conclusion. Probably the author of this writing did not go through any formal training yet, and did not really have a clear idea of what to do in the IELTS writing exam. But I believe that probably if you are watching this live, you know that this is not the way that we are writing an essay. I am not going into any details here. I am not saying that the introduction is good, the body is good, nothing. Okay, I'm just saying, looking at this essay, we know that it will not be getting more than 5 because there's just one single paragraph covering every single thing that you want to say. It feels to me more like a speech, more like you are trying to answer an IELTS speaking question than making it a writing, making it an essay. Okay, so there are a few things I want to give you guys over here. The takeaways of this session is that, first of all, the structure is very, very important in IELTS writing, especially the task 2. We need to have 3 paragraphs, okay? Always have 3 paragraphs: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Now, no matter what you do, I don't care. I don't care what you do and the whole essay. If I don't see the 3 the 3 parts, I'm not going to read it. Okay, so make it your life target purpose to have 3 different paragraphs, not 3, sorry, 3 different parts in IELTS essays. Okay, and after we have established that core knowledge of the IELTS essay, we can go on to talk about how to write the introduction, how to write the body paragraphs, and how to write the introduction. I made an entire live talking about different ways to write a body paragraph already, like I think about 2 weeks ago. So if you did not join the live at that time, please go back to my Instagram or YouTube. You can watch the live, recorded live, okay? And well, that is great. So we should be okay. Body 2, body 3, conclude. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. So if you have learned something through today's session, please give me a thumbs up on the comment section. Okay, I would love to hear from you, your feedback, and to, you know, if you have any specific questions, feel free to message me. And I am kind of running out of ideas on what to do in the next live sessions, because I think I've covered quite a lot of things, right? I would like you guys to give me some ideas for the next lives, that I will be having. Okay, if you have a question, feel free to ask. Maybe I will turn the answer into a live session so that we all learn from this. I will try my best to have a live every Monday at 6 p.m. GMT plus 3, and I will be publishing the schedule for the lives on my website, practice9.co, practice9.co. Okay, and if you want free practices, go there and get, and I have a lot of free resources for you guys as well, from a collection of vocabulary to tips to almost everything. Okay, yes, I will be uploading everything on YouTube. It's already on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube and see, but I think you need to click on, you know, like the live button, the live section, something like that. Yeah, so it's on YouTube as well. Okay, so I am announcing that I'm collecting ideas for live sessions. So feel free to give me any ideas that you have so that I can make live sessions better. And if you have any feedback for me, for my life, and how I look, like not how I look, like how I answer questions and how I interact with you guys, I would love to hear from you guys. Okay, and today lives will be uploaded on Instagram and also on YouTube. After this live, it's already on YouTube. It's already on YouTube. I am live right now on YouTube. Okay, all right, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week on Monday, same time. And thank you so much for joining. I hope you learned something. Thank you so much, and bye. Bye, 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 bye.